You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire interesting community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, John Paul.
Together we are
Raw
Break. How's every single one of you, family? Welcome to the weekly NXT review, and more matches have been added to what is going to be December 5th with War Games. So, I mean, are we excited? It doesn't feel really like War Games. Like, we need William Regal also to kind of confirm War Games. Feel that this new NXT is going to take a lot of time to get used to. And it's very new. It's very with a lot of young people. There's a few that still left from the old NXT. So every show is hit or miss for me. But we're going to be dissecting, analyzing, talking about all this show. Paul.
There's a lot of stuff I really still like about NXT. Tommaso Ciampa is great. Pete Dunne's still great. Cameron Grimes, to me, he cut one of the best promos, me that I think got a guy over as a babyface. I'm like, this guy's great. But then we see all the people they're feuding with. The Grayson Wallers, the Duke Hudsons, the Carmello Hayes, all these people. Braun Breaker's really the only, him and Odyssey Jones are really, to me, the only two new guys that I think, okay, these guys, you have something here. But no, I mean, either it's going to take some getting used to, or it's going to be something where it's like, you can just go join Raw and I'll just see the highlights and the spoilers from what happened.
It's true. So we're going to be doing that, everything. Family, thank you so very much for being with us. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for keeping, Raw Break alive, because we do it for every single one of you. Don't forget to check out Survivor Series, full show results review analysis. A show that it could have been so much better, but turns out to be very poor. I mean, the first hour, like John Paul mentioned in the review, was really good with Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Even the men's Survivor Series match was better than the women's one that we got, and in the end Roman Reigns beats Big E. So pretty predictable, but despite that, don't forget to check that out, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about pay-per-views that don't feel like they live up to their name, to their history, I mean, Survivor Series didn't really feel special. Just kind of, you felt like you could have put any pay-per-view name on this show and it would have fit. But I mean, it was all right. To me, the only thing worth watching is probably Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair.
Becky Lynch and Charlotte, you're right.
Other than that,
everything is you can just see the results exactly. Yeah. So, family, let's talk about like you said at the beginning, Grayson Waller. He's trying to be like a new Rock, or they're trying to still push that agenda of the 25th anniversary of the Rock. Because he was supposed to be scheduled for Survivor Series, kind of his schedule and also quarantine restrictions didn't allow him to be there. But he's cutting a promo about that, all of these things, he wants to be this brand new superstar. At the beginning, at the Rock, he got booed, nobody liked him. So we're gonna see how it is for me. But he got a match with Tommaso Ciampa, and he did well. I mean, for to be a wrestler and brand new, all of that, he does well. He's a pretty decent wrestler, and Ciampa, of course, is gonna help you to develop or put together a much better match. He's the NXT champion for a reason. So they had a good brawl, and in the end, Ciampa gets the win. So what did you think? In the end of the show, everything for me came up together and makes sense now why they did this. But in the beginning, I was a little puzzled for it. Because okay, the champion, but do you have a feud for the championship, or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean the match itself. The promo he cut. Yeah, I said he's a good talker. But again, it's just hard to care about this guy when it seems like you're changing his gimmick and his agenda each and every week.
Yes.
And, but now it seems like they have a little something here. They've been running for it with, a couple weeks now. The match with Ciampa was good, too long. Ciampa should have put him away quicker. I mean, he's your champion, and he's a guy who we know is dominant. But, they're, like you said, it's like, why are they building up these new guys? And they're, giving these, the old guys, the guys from the original NXT, so much of a challenge. And then we see why at the end of the show. But no, I mean, good match. Ciampa, obviously wins, but he has to hit, he hit the fairy tale ending, he had to hit it, and then he hit the Widow's Bell, then he hit the fairy tale ending again. So, he had to hit his moves a couple times to put him
and that, like you said, it doesn't portray your champion better, or it doesn't give you the look that your champion, hey, I'm way above you. So they're really trying to push that agenda that NXT is more as it's not going to say developmental, but it's more for younger talent. It's just forget about all the work that Triple H did and the vibe that he gave, and now he's just.
I just think they're really trying to get all these guys over to where it's nobody feels like they're new. It's like, no, they're not new guys. They're already over. It's like, they're trying to act like they've been there forever. And it's like, no, that we don't feel about them.
It's not, to me, that's not the way that you should sell them, but, that's what happens. Let's talk about this. You wanted to talk about this. You mentioned this. Cameron Grimes, like with the new hairstyle, all of that. Remember what, like, Hudson did last week, cutting, like, some of his hair and all of that. And now they're going to tell you the why. But, the kind of promo that you said he cut, saying, like, how much, like, he had to, like, struggle, like, sleeping on the streets for a few days, like, wondering if he's going to eat the next meal, all of those things. And he said that, like, he left the beard and also the hair really long to remind himself, to remember where he came from and what kind of things he had to do so, to be the superstar that he is right now. So really cool. I really love this.
Yeah, this promo, I mean, like we said, he comes out and he's always, to the moon with his top hat and, the yee-hee, like all like, no, none of that. He came out and he was completely serious. And, he was like looking at the ground. He was like, so he walked to the ring, real somber, real serious. He gets in the ring and the promo he cut, like, fantastic. He was all serious, and, he called out Duke Hudson. And then Duke Hudson answers, and I mean, he killed the promo then, because he's like, oh, I beat you last week, and I'm gonna, And then Cameron Grimes like, why don't you come out here now? And then there was just like silence, and he's like, no, I don't think so. I don't think I will. And then Cameron Grimes was like, shit, now, like, that's all you're giving me? No, I have to carry the rest of it. So it was like, why'd you even show up? And he pretty much challenges him to a match at War Games, and I'm like, my only problem with this, and this was the main one, and it kind of set the trend. I'm like, this is such a good promo, and everything is so good from Cameron Grimes, and then this is who he's feuding with. Yeah. Like, this should be against, like, imagine if this was like Adam Cole, and Undisputed Era cut his hair. How badass would that be?
Oh yeah,
and he was going against Adam Cole. You know what I mean? And that would be so good. And because it's a hair versus hair match, Adam Cole has long hair. He has long hair. They're doing this hair versus hair match. And look at this guy. He has pretty much short hair anyway. So what's the point?
So who's going to be who's going to lose more? Cameron.
No, I mean, I think Cameron Grimes is going to win because he's really over. And I don't see them pushing this guy and then just having him lose here. And so Duke Hudson's, I think he's going to lose. But I mean, this is good. Cameron Grimes. I mean, he could sell me, water if I was. He could sell me water if I was on a boat in the ocean. I mean, he's good right now.
He's so relatable, and that's the word. Like with any work that he's done, we love him when he did the feud with LA Knight. We've been calling for him to actually get that main event status finally, to go and rise to that top and try to go at least for the NXT Championship. It's to me criminal that he has not had an opportunity for the NXT Championship, being that good, and having to do that, all of that. So please, this match needs to be quick, like you said, and like just to look again, the 3 hairs that Hudson has, like what the hell? Again, it should have been Adam Cole and Cameron Grimes. That would have catapulted Grimes to a different level. But I mean, he's cutting the best work that he has right now, so that's good for him. There's going to be another woman coming to NXT Poland. That's going to be Tiffany Stratton. And I mean, the division has a lot of women right now, so I don't know how they're going to keep giving us more and more and more. But remembering that they can get released anytime, so I understand why they do that.
Exactly. I mean, you see her, so you know why she's going to be
a Mandy wannabe.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, to me, the gimmick's right up Vince's alley, the looks up his alley. We just got to see if the wrestling, if there's any wrestling ability.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I feel we'll see what she can do. We'll see what what happens with her. So let's go with Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. So they had a match against Indy Carwell and Perota. And the one thing is Indy is still worried. She's still a little upset, a little sad, a little concerned about what happened with Dexter Lumis. She confirmed that his hand is broken, so he's gonna be out for a month. So you see,
can't draw again. He can't grab my cake.
Yeah, the kick ain't well, I mean, I don't care if it's broken or not. I think if you just put a little bit of effort, you just go
I mean, hey, that's why the Lord blessed you with 2 hands, right? You know what I'm saying?
But, that's why the Lord gave you 2 hands.
This to me, this match was stupid. As soon as you saw this, it's like, is it dissension in the team? I'm glad Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter got the win. Because with what we saw last week, and I'm like, is what's her name?
Perota.
yeah, Parada, she was like, oh, I'll kick their ass myself again. And I'm like, who the fuck is she?
Yeah,
Is she China? Is she Alundra Blaze? Is she Charlotte Flair? Who does Nia Jax? Who does she think she is?
exactly.
I'm like, don't be like, oh, I'll just beat these two people up. To me, it's like, no, you're not Raquel Gonzalez. You're not a badass. Nobody thinks of you like that. Yeah, they was stupid last week. Don't do it again. So, I mean, I'm fine that, like I said,
At least they rectified. They made it a little better, right? At least, like you said, they're not selling this woman.
But
like,
this is something where it's like, again, nobody cares.
no,
I mean, I'm sorry, good win for them,
cares.
for the baby faces, but I mean,
Don't
I
be
guess
surprised if one of
baby
like this
faces.
will get cut or get released in anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we'll see. I mean, and they're not even like challenging for the belts. They're not even part of War Games. And I'm not saying they should, but they should. If they win, they should have some kind of like implications to get to that championship match. But
Well, right now, I mean, see, Vince hates that though. But right now, there should be these teams fighting. And it's like after War Games, I want a title shot.
Yes.
No, I want a title shot. No, okay, no, you guys have a match. Whoever wins after War Games, 2 weeks, you get a title. Book in advance. Know who does that? NXT UK.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we like that show so much.
That way you also know what to expect. You know what's coming, and also everything that happens on the show makes sense. It has again the word implications to the next week or the next month. Let's go quick because like Malik Blade going against Santos Escobar because he's back finally. And easy win for the leader of Legado del Fantasma. Who cares? I'm sorry, but Santos Escobar has gone so low in the totem, into like the rankings. And Elektra Lopez grabbed the mic and they said, oh, well, remember we were like really good. We want Zion Quinn with us because we were thinking of adding more members to it. But if he doesn't want to, we don't care. We don't need him anyway because our leader is back and we're full force and we're going to get those tag team titles. And you had to see also like Von Wagner. We got to see Kyle O'Reilly. And these guys finally spoke English again, Paul. Imperium they remember how to speak in English. So, to me, they said a match next week in between Legado and also we're going to see Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly, and whoever wins is going to be the number one contender for the NXT Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, the promo was all right, O'Reilly, and that made it, better. I mean, the match, everything with Legado, like, I agree with you. It feels dead. I really can't get into it. I'm sorry. They've lowered it. So, it's so far down. I don't see it ever seeing the light of day. But unless he gets released and goes somewhere else, then maybe he can get over. But I mean, I like this. How they say like, oh, you guys are stupid. You can't even speak 2 languages. All this stuff, and then Kyle O'Reilly's like, see, that I thought that was funny. But I mean, I'm excited to see what they do, and only because to me the interesting thing is I want to see how they push O'Reilly's. Is he done soon, or is he gonna okay?
It is true because it is said that like in December his contract expires. So whether he's gonna re-sign or not, I don't really think so. Because it's like, really, remember, he was supposed to be being pushed as a singles guy. He had the match with Finn Balor. Remember, like all of that. Now once again, like babyface, and again one more time in the tag team. So he had those titles before. Why would I want to have the same championship that I held before in a legit team, in a legit faction like Undisputed Era, just to help out Von Wagner? I don't see it. But despite that, Legado del Fantasma at least a little better, I guess, against Elektra Lopez. I mean, there's a lot of cake right there, but that's the only thing that there is. So, let's move on to like something that it kind of bothered me because champions shouldn't lose on TV, especially a champion that is not as credible as any other champion, as any other women's champion has been, and that's Mandy Rose. She goes against Cora Jade, and Cora Jade is brand new, but of course she has a lot of future. There's a lot of people that are absolutely in love with Cora Jade. So already that has the premises that she is going to be pushed as good as like any other girl. Then on NXT, and we got to see also in the match, Kaylee Ray, like you said, comes in like a mad woman, just swinging that bat, creating distraction, and in the end, Cora Jade gets the win over the NXT champion. So shouldn't that make you number one contender also? But I don't know. This was a bad decision for me because Cora Jade does not need to win. There's no reason for this.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I would have had, Cora Jade give the champion kind of a run for her money.
Yeah.
And then maybe Kaylee Ray comes out, kind of causes a distraction. Cora Jade roll up 1, 2. Mandy Rose kicks out. Cora Jade goes for a clothesline. Mandy Rose ducks, hits the ropes. Big fucking knee that she hits. 1, 2, 3, pins her. Cora Jade came this close. She gets a title opportunity later down the line. the next feud should have been Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray's already over. Everybody knows she's legit. She was already on this television program, last year with
longest NXT UK champion.
Yeah, so we know who that would be the main feud, and it's like, hey, you almost cost me this match. You're being bullshit. I saw you swinging a bat earlier. What the hell's your deal? Start a program with that, and a feud. But no, I mean, I don't like this. It's WWE main roster booking where somebody pins the champion in a non-title match, and then they get a match.
All of a sudden, yes. Yeah. And they were they were looking for a fourth member for what is going to be War Games. So of course, you see that situation. Most likely, Kaylee Ray just joined. And as joins, he's like, I'm the fourth member. Why? Because Zoe Starks is injured, and it's a legit injury. So it's cool that they have her on TV, and they believe in her. They know that how talented she is, and that's why they haven't got her yet. But you never know. Nobody is safe, they say.
Well, I mean, the one thing I'll say is, I mean, they're pretty bad, but I don't know if they would fire her when she's actually injured. They might she's exactly. Like cleared, and then they'll fire her.
And so it's been official now. So you guys can see 4 against 4 is going to be Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai going against Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray, and Corey J.
And the way that they portrayed Dakota Kai is so bad. Yeah. I feel bad for her, honestly. No, I'm like, oh man, like, she has to act like a complete idiot on TV.
They they've been trying to sell you on Dakota Kai. A lot of people they've been trying so much for her to just have like this badass, character, badass gimmick, or persona. Remember the feud with Tegan Knox? Where is Tegan Knox now? Release. That didn't work. The same thing with Raquel. That didn't work. She even had the match with Io at War Games. Oh, no, that one, but on NXT TakeOver, that didn't work either. So it's hard, poor Dakota Kai. I agree with you. She is not the best thing ever right there. So that's gonna be War Games, Paul. But throughout the show, we got to see LA Knight and we got to see Grayson also fighting and Waller, and I don't know what was that about. But again, everything makes sense at the end of the show. Because I don't know why LA Knight all of a sudden he's one of the NXT originals when he's been in the brand also not even a year, probably 6 months.
Well, but anyway, was that Joe Gacy or no, or who was it?
Yeah, Joe Gacy came out also. So he's right there, he's trying to hey, don't calm down, can knock it off and all of that. And then he ends up having a segment with Diamond Mine, and he wants a match against Roderick Strong. It seems that they're gonna go at it, and it's official. And also NXT War Games, we're going to see a match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and it's going to be Joe Gacy and Roderick Strong. Who the hell is the babyface here? Nobody. This is just
because people hate Joe Gacy just because it's like, who is this guy? I mean, to me, Roddy's just a babyface because of Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I mean,
if I honestly was at this NXT show, I would be like, undisputed. I would just try to get I would be like, fuck it, you're a badass with this,
Yeah, and the only thing is at least we gotta see more. Holland was trying to defend him. So if they use this guy, but again, they're teasing it. Once they finally release this guy, hopefully that makes Joe Gacy a little better, or a little more intimidating. But until now, I have no interest in a match like this because, like you said, Diamond Mine, there's 5 guys right there, or even 4 that can fight. Against Gacy, that, like you said, his character is weird. His character is not relatable. So, I don't know. But, they don't do an effort to make, feuds like this, titles like this feel special. That sucks really bad. You know what? We're talking about bad, Paul. You want to talk about terrible? There you go. This guy. MSK. They're still looking for that person, that wise man, and it's not Paul Heyman that is gonna make them regain their abilities. This is like Space Jam. They stole with the ball my abilities, and I don't know. This is just bad. I don't care for these guys. If they will not be shown on TV anymore, I will be fine, absolutely fine, because they've done the worst job with these guys. Like I said,
you didn't like when he was talking about how he can't go to jail because he has too much cake. You didn't like that?
Yeah. I just
this is no. I mean, okay. If I was watching this on Comedy Central and had nothing to do with wrestling, maybe I would enjoy it a lot more. Maybe if they were 2 stoners going to find their weed dealer and all this was happening, it would be a lot funny. But it's not. I'm watching it on a fucking professional wrestling show where I want to see grown men and women wrestling each other in a competitive sport. I don't want to see this. I'm sorry. It doesn't belong here. They get pulled over by the cops. They get away. Nobody cares. Let's move on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's stupid. So, let's go to the next one, Paul. This was also like for Diamond Mine. Yulisa Leon going against Evie Nile, or Eve Nile, and another showing for her. There's future here, but again, we need more baby faces also. So, but at least they're trying to give her like opportunities. Like she's brand new as a wrestler.
The only thing I really wish is Diamond Mine, like Roderick Strong was the North American champion, so he could be feuding with everybody.
Yeah.
Instead of just these 205 guys. Because, I mean, a lot of guys on NXT are kind of small, but, he could have had a feud with Odyssey Jones. He could have, maybe a feud with LA Knight, even though they're both heels. But, I wish they could do more with Diamond Mine because I feel like they are trying to get these guys over. So, at least I think all these guys in this group are pretty safe, and especially if Roddy signed a new deal. You got to think that they have plans for these guys. Because I would say right now, I know nobody's safe unless you're Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton. But I think if you give somebody a new deal, at least in the past couple weeks or months, you're probably, in the clear.
Not going to be like the first one, the very first one to be cut. I agree with that. With that. But again, you don't ever know with Johnny Ace.
Yeah, you never know.
He the creator of the Diamond Cutter or the RKO. That's the only good thing he did because of those calls. He just destroys lives like these guys. When they have future, they were supposed to be a great tag team. We love them. NXT UK just sent them away, cry. There were tears. There were like sadness, and they were like, "Oh no, we're gonna take care of them. They will be fine." No, Real Young Veterans going against another team that again they're trying to get, like you said, guys over. Brooke Jensen and Josh Briggs. And they get jabbed out one more time. We got to see LA Knight and Waller still fighting backstage. Nobody gives a damn. And in the end, Greg, they get the win. And I'm not really happy because I was a big fan of the Girls Young Veterans. And now even Jensen and Briggs can go and get a win over them. Absolutely jabbed out.
Can I tell you who these guys remind me of?
Go back to the UK.
Jensen and Briggs. To me, they almost remind me of like a little bit more of a redneck version of FTR. I'm not saying that they're anywhere near as good or anything. No, but I'm saying the gimmick itself, like these two tough guys, they're from the South. They like to fight, they're tough, all this stuff. That's kind of, I'm getting the vibes. And I feel like that's what WWE was going for. They're like, oh, FTR is hot. People love them, fuck, we screwed them up. So we'll kind of just copy them with these guys. And that's why they're pushing them. And the way that they are portraying the Grizzled Young Veterans now, being like con artists and the skits that they've been having the last couple weeks, I'm completely fine with them getting jobbed out because to me, I don't want to see them pushed if you're going to portray them like that. Yeah. Job them out and release them so they can go wrestle and be legit somewhere else, or just let them go back to NXT UK.
NXT UK. I was thinking that with Tegan Knox, Paul, because we never see Tegan Knox on NXT UK. Why can't they do that? That would have been a good addition for like their division. Hey, go back, be legit, No, they didn't do that. At least do that for the Girls and Veterans. The tag team division needs them. I mean,
hopefully they do. But knowing WWE, it'll be.
Bye-bye. Have a good day. So like you said, they get the win. So like we said, remember, we're going to see also next week. This is going to be like a match for like the War Games Advantage, the Kaylee against Dakota Kai. Here probably the heels will get the win, and they will try to get advantage, the Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai. Kaylee Ray for me does not fit her character, the way she is as a wrestler and as a persona does not fit
you
this
saw
new
her
show.
You saw her 100% serious all the time. She was a great heel. Maybe she cheated, lied, and stuff, but she was serious. You believed her. Yes. When she said, "I'm the best. I'm the forever champion." You believed it because she had a 400-some-day title reign, whatever it was. You believed it. Yeah. And now she's swinging a bat. You're like, what the fuck is this? I'm back.
What happened with Candy Ray? So now let's go to like the main event. And the main event was like a triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Carmello Hayes going against Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano. This, on paper, it should have been just won by any of the Dunne or Gargano because how good they are, how influential have been for NXT. But we understood that Carmello Hayes is the guy that they're pushing now. So he needed a big win over these guys. But in the fashion that it was done, maybe not the way that they should have done. They should have done this. Pete Dunne was about to get the win. He did the bitter end on Johnny Gargano. Then Tony D'Angelo, he attacks Pete Dunne, and that allows Carmello Hayes to hit like that well, it's like a leg drop. It's like a flying leg drop that he does, and then he gets the win. He retains the championship. How did you feel with this, Paul? I was pissed. I was pissed
Yeah, I
because
mean, the match itself was pretty good. No real complaints. Good main event here for NXT TV, and I'm just waiting for it because I really thought, okay, Carmello Hayes is probably going to retain. I thought Trick Williams going to cause some kind of distraction, DQ, distract the ref, some throw in the title. There's going to be some kind of screwiness. No, Trick wasn't getting involved. I thought, okay. Like you said, he hit the bitter end. I thought, shit, because Pete Dunne cut a fantastic promo about how, how tough he is and how Carmello Hayes needs to pay his dues and he's never won gold and it's his time. He doesn't care. Gargano, he's going to put that feud to rest as well. Great stuff by Pete Dunne. When he hit the bitter end, I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're going to do it. Maybe they're going to say, hey, Pete Dunne, here it is. Nope. We see Tony D'Angelo, and I said, fuck it. I'm done. Because, as soon as he hit that leg drop, 1, 2, 3, I was done. And you got to tell me what I missed. I saw it now, but at the time, I missed it live because I was like, I'm done with this. I turned it off.
Yeah,
that's what bad booking does.
I mean, we knew, but like in the fashion that was done, it was more upsetting than anything.
And that's the thing. When you do bad booking, it makes people turn off your show or change the channel. So.
Yes, and then you miss things. So that's what happens. But let's see, it seems like finally. Remember, we said from the beginning of the show, we're gonna tell you at the end with everything, all the pieces come together. All these guys, you see Tony D'Angelo, you see like Waller, you see Williams, you see the Carmello Hayes. They're the new breed. They're the new blood, so to say. In the future of NXT, or like the beginning of NXT 2.0, they're attacking Gargano, Pete Dunne, LA Knight showed up also, Tommaso Ciampa there's also joins, so we get to see the old breed against the new breed. And then, of course, Braun Breaker comes out and does the missing piece. That's going to be the leader for this team. What does he say? War Games in the Scott Steiner, or one of the Steiners, like best fashion. And the show goes off the edges, all 8 guys going at each other. So like you said, I would have been completely fine. There was only one War Games match. It should have been the men. And, we had to add the women for some odd reason. But in the end, it is going to be the main event. And to me, put together for there's not really a story behind it. I mean,
I'd rather see, because the women's War Games match is probably going to be with entrances and everything. I mean, they don't really have entrances because they're in the cage, but till they lower it, go through all the kit and caboodle, all that bullshit, probably be almost a half hour. I would rather have seen, Casey Catanzaro, that team go against, JC Jade and Gigi Dolan, and then see Mandy Rose go against Kaylee Ray in a singles match.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen those two things be on this show. Give me just the men's, because they're going to show the women's first. The women are going to do a lot of the same thing the men do. So then when you watch the men's, you go, well, I already saw it.
Yeah.
But I saw it with women. So the men, if the woman didn't sell it, but the man sold it, how am I supposed to believe that?
Yes. And also, the one thing, Paul, is like the quality of this woman. Not the same as last year.
No.
Not the same. It's not nearly as good as like we had Toni Storm. Remember, like we had even Ember Moon. We had all the girls.
This is no offense. This is no offense, because we as the Rope Break family, they know us. They know she's one of our favorites. But when you have an 8-woman match, and your best woman in that match is Io Shirai, and all the rest are pretty green, that to me is not.
It's gonna be. We'll see, but like it will be. Like, it'll give us. We'll be doing the review. We will have everything. It will give us a lot of talk to do. I'm
going to say it right here. This is my prediction. The last 2 in the men, Tommaso Ciampa, Braun Breaker, and Breaker pins him.
Yeah.
To get his title.
To get like a match or like for later on. Yeah, you're right. So like, and that will keep the feud going. At least that makes sense. But again, I would imagine to see the rematch or maybe something like that. But we're gonna, they gave us what they gave us. 2 things before we go. William Regal was not there, so that when nobody says War Games, it feels a little flat. Second of all, the first time ever since War Games came back, the Undisputed Era, and that's gonna be there. Or at least, at least get Kyle O'Reilly somehow, at least it will be a little bit Undisputed Era. But that's what we have. So family, thank you so very much for being with us. I hope we serve you well. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and give the video a like, so a lot more people are exposed to us. And where else can they find us?
And guys, make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the original Road Crew.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...